Now, before we go to some brand new footage and video clips on the red heifer, one of our favorite topics for years, and was certainly one of our favorite topics after the 5 red heifers landed in Israel. 2 great guests on that. Before we do, remember, we are brought to you by you. Here's a great way I think you can support your health and support us at the same time. We just got another testimonial the other day. Melissa read it to me. A lady said, I've been taking it for 60 days, so pleased with the results, and we're happy about the fact we get to take something that we believe helps us and support you at the same time. And that's true. I think this is a great way to support your health and us at the same time. That's why I want you to get a subscription like Melissa and I do. You don't have to worry about forgetting that you have ordered it. It shows up, and you'll save money when you get the subscription. MelissaHouseBG.com. We use that to track it. She's the one that brought it to us, so our organization gets credit. MelissaHouseBG.com. MelissaHouseBG.com. All right? And then, of course, you also have Numi. Numi, this is loaded with what is called glutathione. It's a molecule to detox your cells. What could possibly be going on today and in the environment that would make you want to detox your cells? Lots of things, right? But, of course, you can do a study on glutathione by going to, you'll just go to Numi, NEUMI.com/house, HOWSE, the number 1. All right. Check it out. Glutathione. 2 great ways, I think, to support us and your health at the same time. All right. Joining me now tonight is Brittany, and Brittany has a very special guest. Brittany, her name is Brittany Salisbury. That's her name. Also, I think she goes by Brittany Fearless Salisbury. She joins us tonight. I'm going to have her introduce our guests, who we're so excited to have on. Brittany, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Brannon. It's such an honor to be with you, and it's an honor.
Well,
go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. And please, there's a little delay tonight, sorry. And please introduce our guest tonight.
Well, it's an honor to also introduce Byron because of just who he is and just the movement that has started with him by partnering Jews and Christians like never before. And after my pastor interviewed him and I hearing his testimony, I just knew I had to partner alongside of him, and he took me on board on his team, and he is the one that has found the 5 red heifers in Texas alongside ranchers. I mean, many people know who he is. He's going viral all over the internet. This is Byron Stinson.
Byron, welcome. So glad you're here, Byron Stinson. So great to have you here. You're out of Texas. You're the one that bred these 5 heifers and then shipped them to Israel, correct?
Well, Brandon, first off, thank you very much for having me on, and I thank you, Brittany, for introducing me. Brittany's such a hard worker and has done such a wonderful job for us. I appreciate it so much, Brittany. Actually, I did not breed the heifers. I have a small farm, but all my cows are black. So what happened is I started going to Israel starting in 2000, but then in 2007, do projects there in Israel. I got to clean the Garden of Gethsemane. There were the rocks that were actually the very stones that Joshua laid on the ground that an archaeologist named Adam Sertal had found. And we opened up a roadway and parking lot for buses from around the world to stop there and see those stones. Because Joshua said they were laying those stones on the ground so that in the future people would stop and understand that the Bible is true. And we've had several other projects, very large and important projects that we're doing out of Israel. And through that, I was contacted by rabbis from Israel that see us as part of the tribes of Israel scattered at 720 BC. They see those that have a heart for Israel like we do could very well be from those scattered 10 lost tribes of Israel. So the actual scripture of Numbers 19 says, "Say unto Israel, bring us a red heifer." You see, it was Judah that stayed a people group and then were returned out of the Holocaust to build up the land. They're the people group, the tribe that has built up Israel from the beginning in 1948 to now. But in Ezekiel 38 and 37, what it talks about is that's the dry bones vision. And in the last days, then God speaks to the 4 winds of the earth and says, bring the Spirit of God to breathe upon this great nation, Israel, that's built back up. So we're at that time right now. As all these things are going on against the world, God is stepping up, getting ready to show everybody in the world that he is God. And he's using Israel as the acid test to know that he is God. And eventually, we see that the prophecies of the temple being rebuilt will happen also. And I think you're a real student of the red heifer. And so you will know that the red heifer, the first steps of that are a spiritual uplifting that will bring us with the mixture of the living water, all of it to me representing Yeshua and what he does for us, and bring an uplifting of the spirit to all the world, and that we'll start seeing the power of God against these nations that are gathering together to try to form a one world government to rule the world. But then they fail, because in the book of Daniel, it says what will happen is they'll start fighting each other, and that'll fall apart, and the Messiah will show up, and we'll have salvation through the Messiah that comes to the Temple Mountain in Israel, where the house of prayer has been built, prepared for God to come and rule from there. Of course, the Antichrist, he's drawn out and exposed because he has to try to stop the work of God, who is beginning to build his temple and beginning to show his power to the earth at that time. And he'll be identified whenever he shows up at that temple that gets built. So that's all part of what I've been part of and Brittany's part of. And we're just telling the world.
So you say you weren't the... When you say you weren't the breeder, but you helped organize these 5 heifers and get them to Israel, right, Brian?
Yeah, so I'm a businessman. I've got a couple of businesses that do very well, and so with my businesses, I use my technology departments, and I put together a team, and we started putting ads in newspapers that go out to the reddest Santa Gertrudis and Red Angus ranchers. I knew that would be where we'd be able to find the reddest of cows. And so we started looking for those that would work with us. The biggest thing about the red heifer hunt is that the detriment to it are the ear tags. The minute you put an ear tag in a calf, then it's blemished, and so you can't use it. And we were looking for unblemished cows. So the way to get those is you have to get to those cows the day they're born or the week they're born before the tag goes in, which means, and we also already have to inspect the herd, make sure that they have mothers that are completely red, past going into their 3rd year of life, 4th year of life. So you inspect the mothers, you find some cows that are 100% red, which is no easy thing to do. So we were going from herd to herd, doing inspections, rabbis with us, teaching us what we were looking for. They were learning because they haven't done it in 2,200 years. And we were going and we were looking for these red heifers. And then by the hand of God, and the work that our team put together, we were able to find the right ranches. There's 2 different ranches that we took cows from. We took two Santa Gertrudis from a ranch in South Texas called Urbanowski Ranch, and we wound up. I had a goal when it first was given to me and asked me to find these cows. I set a goal. They wanted me to find 1. I set a goal in my heart. We'll find 7 because that's God's perfect number is 7. But as it turned out at the end, we found instead 21, which is 3 times God's perfect number. So then we flew in rabbis from Israel, very respected rabbis, to come do a full inspection. And out of that, we were able to select the 9 best. And then from that, eventually, because there's laws about what you can import into Israel, you actually can't legally import livestock for consumption. So they became our pets, and you have a maximum of 5 pets is the most that you can ship into the country. So we were able to ship 5 pet cows into Israel in September.
And you had to ship them in there as pets.
Yes.
You had to sit them in there as pets, right?
Yeah, those are pets, and they still are. They are so gentle and so sweet. And people just love.
I think we have some video, Brittany. Brittany went over there. Of course, you can't touch them, I don't think, right, Brittany? Brittany, maybe we should bring up some of the video footage and pictures. Brittany, you were over there. You were right with them. Let's go to that first picture. Well, there she is right there. Tell us about your experience going over there, Brittany.
Yeah, so it was an incredible experience, helping Byron and Rabbi Saki for the last 2 years. And just to be able to finally see them in person was an honor. I mean, so many emotions. I mean, we're looking at 1 of 5 that will be, used for the Red Heifer ceremony. This is such a incredible event. There has only been 9 pure kosher Red Heifers, and now we have 5. And Byron obviously can tell you more about how many are left that are kosher. but extremely friendly, beautiful animals. It was just a sight to see. So I encourage anyone who is in Israel, go to Shiloh and check out the red heifers.
So are you telling me, Brittany, people can just go there and see them?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's open to the public. Wow. And, this is where the Tabernacle of Moses was there for 369 years. What an incredible place to have the red heifers. I mean, there's also different things that Byron is building at the Shiloh Center, and I'll let him talk more about that. And there's so many things that are in the works. But yes, it was a memory that I will never forget.
Byron, I understand that one of them now has discolored hair in the ear. So I heard one had been disqualified of the 5. Have you heard that as well?
Yeah, so it's the tail, it's not so much the ear. And one is disqualified as far as for a ceremony, but she's very, very qualified to breed back to one of the reddest bulls that we can find anywhere in the world. And we'll take this semen, freeze it and take it and breed her back. And so it will be a really exciting day when she has her first calf, and she'll be able to raise calves for the next 10 years. She'll be able to give us 10 babies out of her, and they will be starting to line up where we have red cows, fully solid red cows in Israel on an ongoing basis. So at any time that the ceremony is needed, we'll have plenty of them, as all of these cows probably will wind up being bred back. Now, it's possible that one of them will be used for the ceremony before that, because we still have 3 that are very qualified. One that could be qualified, but not so much. So we'll breed them back, and we'll actually continue the herd and continue building the herd.
So do you think that you're going to get, I mean, and by the way, how many do you need? You just need one? Because you can take the ashes of the heifer and then mix it with water and do ceremonies for a long time. So you really only need one, right?
Yeah, so they one red heifer ceremony, probably at the time of Solomon, that was 1,000 years. That was enough ashes to be able to purify water for 1,000 years, because it's just a pinch of the ash of the red heifer is enough power in it, which it represents Yeshua. And he doesn't take a lot to have enough power mixed with the living water out of the Gihon spring, which represents Yeshua. And all of that sprinkled on everybody. So if you look at people watching, if you look at Ezekiel 36, God promises when he brings his people back to the land, and it'll be like he sprinkled pure water upon them. Their hearts will be turned to flesh, and they will see the Messiah. And so this is something that's prophesied in the Bible, along with the other prophecies that are coming true. I also teach biblical archaeology, have been doing that since 2007 through a nonprofit we started in 2007 called the Father's House Foundation. We've been helping pastors and church leaders to go and see the archaeology that proves the Bible true in many places all over Israel.
That's excellent.
So all these things come together.
Excellent. Let me ask you, Byron, we've read reports, and Brittany, you can jump in here too, that Hamas, they really don't like that these heifers are there. They've opened up publicly and spoken about it and written about it. You want to go first, Brittany? I mean, they don't like these red heifers being there because they know what it represents if they can get a perfect red heifer for sacrifice in the third temple.
Yeah, it's such a hot topic. It's a very controversial topic. You know, it's something that you heard about while you were in Israel. You know, this landmark, this ancient biblical site is so precious to all the major faiths of the world, the Jewish faith, the Christian faith, the Muslim faith. And, you know, there is a plan, and I'll let Byron talk about that there is a way to have the third temple there without destroying the Al-Aqsa Mosque, you know. And so the Jews are trying to build a temple for a house of prayer for all nations. And so there's a lot of details, a lot of misinformation, but it can be worked out. And so I think Hamas really just used the red heifers as a way to turn things like they are doing now, that we're seeing at the Jewish attacks for the students, you know, here in America and across the world. And, you know, this has been a long time of Hamas not liking the Jewish people, but because of the red heifers being so relevant today, because there is one that can be used for the red heifer ceremony. I believe they used it against them to make it seem like this is the reason why they attacked him on October 7th.
Yeah.
Wow. Byron, sorry, Brian. Go ahead, Byron.
So here's the thing is, as Christians, we tend to be very, very spiritual about everything. And that all comes from this Roman Jesus, little fake halos and all spiritual. But with the Jews and with the Muslims, it's very physical. So right now, the Muslims are physically planning on killing every Jew they can and killing all the Americans they can and completely making us submit to their authority physically. The Christians, on the other hand, are spreading the gospel of Jesus to make a spiritual kingdom on earth. And I think what the Christians have to wake up to is this kingdom is spiritual, but it's much more than spiritual. It's also physical. And if we go into the Torah and to the prophets and read those, we start realizing God is planning to bring a physical kingdom of God to the earth. Indeed. Where His will is done on earth. And so we need to wake up.
In fact, Daniel 2.
Yeah.
Daniel 2 talks about that. It says that God's kingdom, that God will bring his kingdom. It will crush Satan's kingdom, and of God's kingdom there'll be no end. So, I'm looking forward to that. But I do know this is a major, major marker in where we are on Bible prophecy as we watch Israel, as we watch the Third Temple, the rise of a one-world government, a one-world economy, a one-world leader, a one-world religion. These are all markers, In fact, I'm teaching through the book of Revelation right now on Sunday nights. We were off last night because of Mother's Day. But there's a blessing that comes for those that seek to understand that book, which, of course, we know talks about that temple and the abominations that take place, and the image of it speaks blasphemy is set up. So we don't rejoice in, say, sacrifices. We know there was one sacrifice once for all, but we know what God is doing with the Jewish people. We know that Scripture must be fulfilled, and if we want to understand where we're at on God's calendar, and apparently we're supposed to. I'm sorry there have been some pastors that say when it comes to Bible prophecy, God said it's none of your business. I know one well-known national pastor had said that in one of his books, but that's not true, because Jesus in Matthew 24 is saying, look out for these signs, look out for this information, watch the olive tree, study the book of Revelation. There's a special blessing coming. So what you're talking about that Brittany has brought us tonight and that you've been so involved in, Byron, is putting down a marker to show us we are on a trajectory toward Bible prophecy being fulfilled, which to me shows not only the supernatural nature of God's word, but that God is in control, that the world isn't spinning out of control. Oh, no, I don't know what's going to happen. This is horrible. Not that we rejoice over some of the things happening, but we realize that God is going to work it all together for his good, for all those who love him are called according to his purpose, that he is going to win this spiritual battle. His kingdom will crush Satan's kingdom, and of his kingdom there'll be no end. So I just want to thank you for telling our audience about this tonight. Now, I did see a website pop up on the monitor here. What is your website? What I couldn't read it. It's too far away.
So one of the websites they can go to is Boneh, which is BONEH Israel.com. Boneh Israel. Boneh is a word like Boneh that means to build up Israel. So our projects are all going to build up Israel, construction. So it's Boneh Israel. I have another website, which actually right now it lands you on my personal webpage. It's called buildthetemple.com. So we also have that website people go, and it'll get to my page, and you can see the beginning steps of building up that organization.
Exactly. Excellent. Let me show it right here. Here it is. BoneH, but spelled like that. BoneHIsrael.com. BONEH Israel.com. You'll find out more there. Fascinating. Brittany, thank you so much for bringing this to us. And Byron, thank you for being with us. Brittany, do you have a website you want to promote?
I have transfiguremarketing.com that you can go to, but I'd rather people go to bonehisrael.com and stay connected, because this is truly, like you said, an end time prophecy. We are in incredible days. I mean, if this is not a time to be serious about your walk with the Lord, then now I don't know what is, right? So we're seeing biblical prophecy unfold before our eyes, and it's just an honor to be with both of you guys tonight. So thank you.
Ditto. Ditto to that. Brittany Salisbury and Byron Stinson. Again, bonehisrael.com, BONEHisrael.com. Guys, thank you for being with us. God bless you guys.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Great. I've been wanting to interview him for a while. Great job, Brittany. Great job. And she does have a marketing company as well. Represents a lot of different people. Maybe you or your organization can benefit from her services as well. Now, before we go tonight, remember, folks, all of this stuff, a couple things here. Look, all of this stuff gets put up over at worldviewtube.com. I'm always streaming over there. Look at that. We're a few minutes behind, about a minute or two behind with the stream, but we're always streaming live at worldviewtube.com, worldviewtube.com, and then we start putting up the broadcast here. Remember, I produce Roger Stone's broadcast, and I produce several other shows you'll find here. Colonel Mills, Rob Lindstead, Tamara Scott. Who else is this here? We've got so many. Who is this here? Dan Eastman. I know there's some else I'm leaving out, but there. Oh yeah, the New American TV. There it is. The New American TV. All of this at worldviewtube.com. Worldviewtube.com. Now I need you to go to twc.health/Brannon. All this talk about the bird flu. Here's what you need to do right here, folks. Go to twc.health. Look at these medical kits here, okay? Go to the top of the page, click medical kits, and then click right here, contagion emergency kit. Click that one. Now, I have the emergency medical kit, but this one is on its way. This is to deal with the contagion, the bird flu that they want to push on us. No need to panic, but be prepared. Don't panic, but be prepared, all right? twc.health/Brannon. Use that URL. Not only will you save money, but you'll be supporting this broadcast at the same time. twc.health/Brannon. And remember, we are always here at worldviewtube.com. Worldviewtube.com. Write it down, mark it down, make it a favorite. No matter what goes on in the world, we'll be here at worldviewtube.com, bringing you news and information through the lens of a Judeo-Christian worldview. Worldviewtube.com. Thanks for watching. May God save America. Take care.